Hello there, darlings. Welcome to a new live. Thank you very much for everyone who's here already, and welcome to everyone on the live, and then of course afterwards on the replay crew. As a little reminder, if you could be such darlings, and do please write down comments or question when you have a comment or question to me or to my guest, who is Balázs for tonight from Ron Hubcult from his channel on YouTube. That way, it helps me to be able to see it. I can star it, and then afterwards we can look at it, because I know you guys like to talk amongst yourself, which I think it's marvelous. And yeah, that makes it just a bit easier for me. So, without any further ado, darlings, I'll introduce to you. I'll welcome Balázs to the stage. Hello there, Balázs.
Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Pretty good. I'm so excited.
Yeah. SMI. I find it marvelous that we have more and more people in Europe popping up, doing YouTube channel, protesting, doing videos, and all of that. I've said it before already that Scientology is spread very thinly around the world, but it is spread around the world. So I think this is great.
Yeah.
Right. So for anybody who happens to not know who you are exactly, would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe tell us your involvement in Scientology, how you got in, when you got out, how long you were there, why you got out, and anything else you'd like to add to that.
Sure. That was a lot of questions, but let's start somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I met Scientology in my city. It's a little city in Hungary. It's called Kazincbarcika. It was in 2010. One of my old colleagues called me and said, let's have a drink and talk about whatever. And I said, okay. So we sat down and he was talking about something, I don't remember what. And then after a while, he mentioned, let's go to somewhere. If you like tests, then you can fill out some tests. And I do like tests. It was the OCA test.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, he body routed me to a mission. We had a mission at that time. Now there is no more mission in my city. So I went there.
How big was that mission back then when you were there?
It was super small. It was in the basement under a staircase. I met maybe 3 people in there the whole time.
Okay. Yeah.
So that was nothing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I filled out the tests, etc. I was talking to the mission leader. We become friends after that. But later on, for a few months, I did not go there anymore. I did not care. What's that?
Sure.
But he called me again in 2011, around March or April. And
when
he
was
said,
this? Sorry, when was this before when you first did the test?
It was 2010, around November-ish.
Okay.
Yeah. So yes, I went in again, and I was just looking around, like, what is it? Because it was mentioned it's Scientology and Dianetics, but I did not know anything about any of those. So I was just curious, like, okay, what is it? So usually I was just talking to the mission leader just to get some information. And, she was already selling me some stuff, but I never bought anything, any course or nothing.
Yeah.
But she was telling me about the Sea Org, because I was a financial advisor at that time. So I was wearing ties and suits, and I was looking nice as a Sea Org member, because I wear blue.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So she said, "Oh, you would look nice as a Sea Org member." So I got curious, like, okay, what is the Sea Org? And she explained me that's the elite, that's the perfect Scientologist, and so on. We all know that what Sea Org means.
Sure.
Yeah, and we looked up some Sea Org bases.
Mm-hmm.
where they are located in all around the world. And basically, I picked Denmark because everything is here,
Mm-hmm.
top to bottom, you name it. New Era, CLO,
Every kind of
uh,
Scientology organization, basically.
yes, all of
Yeah.
them. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to go for all, you
For sure.
know.
Yeah.
So yes, we talked about that and so on. And after 2 weeks, somebody called me from Denmark, a recruiter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we heard that you are interested and we can get you in here and you can start to be a Sea Org member.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it took them around 2 weeks to close me down. I needed to handle all the situation around me,
Of course.
to quit my job and prepare for myself, or prepare for the Sea Org.
Of course. And I'd like to interject here just for anyone who is not quite aware. Well, what is exactly the Siog? You can compare it in a way like becoming a monk or like a nun. You basically give up everything that you have. You go there with maybe a suitcase or two, a little bit of clothes, but you really have very little space. And because you don't really need that, because you are given a uniform and you work 7 days a week, basically. So you don't need a lot of other clothes other than that. You're provided with accommodation. There's a berthing system. So you have all the men in one area, all the women in another area. You have lots of people squashed into one room, and just to give the viewers some idea of how it is being in the Siok, and of course, what are all the preparations you have to do, particularly also because you were going from Hungary to Denmark, so you're going to different countries. So there are other legal things you also have to do. You have to basically tell the government, well, I don't live here anymore, now I live over there, and all of that. So there's a lot of preparation you have to do before you start. It's not just signing a contract and you start in a company or anything like that. It's much more involved like that. Just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, correct.
Hmm.
So yes, then after I ended up here in Denmark in 2011, it was the 15th of June I
Mm.
arrived.
15th of June. Interesting that you can remember that.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I came with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
another prospect, let's say
Yes.
that,
Okay.
and she mentioned after a year or two that we arrived 15th of June. I did not
Right.
remember, but she remembered, and
Okay.
we had
Yeah.
some anniversary,
Yeah. 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 Okay.
together. Yeah. So yeah, after I was, an EPFer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to explain what an EPF means.
Sure, EPF is the Estates Project Force, and it oftentimes is described as the boot camp that you have to do before entering the actual C organization. In the EPF, you do a lot of MEST work. MEST meaning matter, energy, space, and time. So anything physical is basically MEST. So you do a lot of physical work. And aside from that, there are 5 courses that you have to do, and you have to complete these courses. And in theory, this should take about 3 weeks, but it oftentimes takes longer. I mean, I for one, I took about 3 months or so to actually finish it. I had a tough time at it, but usually it should take about 3 weeks, and then once you've done that, then you're officially a SEAL member. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it took me also 3 months to finish the
Hmm.
EPF. Actually,
It's
I
probably
did
because
not
we
know
have the same
anything.
hairstyle. It's
Yeah, we
probably the
do.
hairstyle. Must be that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I finished the EPF,
Hmm.
but the fitness board. Now you need to explain what the fitness board means.
A fitness board. Let me see. So this is what you would do before the EPF normally.
No, it was after I finished the EPF, I got the
Yes.
fitness board.
So maybe you have to remind me what the fitness board is. I think the fitness board was something that you do to make sure are you fit, basically. Are you able to actually even go into the SEOG or not?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Legally, it's not like physically a fitness.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a group of people who decides who can be a Sea Org member or who cannot be. Something like
yeah.
that.
Based upon your past. So if you have some sort of criminal record, or how long have you been in Scientology, what have you done? Like what skills you may have that we as in the CEO can then use, and so on and so forth. I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, I had some criminal record in Hungary,
Hmm.
so I was thrown out basically. So I
Right.
did not become a Sea Org member.
Okay. Lucky you.
Yeah, sort of, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, I needed to leave,
Uh
but
huh.
I did not want to go back to Hungary because I gave up everything. So I decided, okay, let's make a life here in Denmark. Let's
Sure.
try out.
Hmm.
And I did not have any opportunity what to do
Hmm.
because I did not speak any language, meaning Danish or English. I
Mm.
spoke Hungarian and a little bit of German,
Right.
but nobody speaks German in Denmark, so it doesn't
No.
count.
Yeah.
So that was, here is an Arconon, Denmark.
Hmm.
Actually, the European headquarters is also here in Denmark for
Right.
Narconon.
Yeah.
And they did some renovation there at that time. It was still in 2011.
Hmm.
So I called them and said, "Yeah, I am here. Do you need help?" And they said yes. So I joined them and I got room and board.
Okay. So you were like a staff member for the Narconon, or just a
Uh,
helper?
yeah, first time I was just a helper for like half
Okay.
a year.
Right. Wow.
And yeah, after I become a staff member and I
Hmm.
signed a 2.5 years contract,
Right. Okay.
which I never finished because
Bad boy.
yeah, I was a bad boy. Yes, I was
Hmm.
backflashing, talking back all
Oh.
the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a bad person. So I did not finish the contract. I was thrown out because there was two renovation. The
Hmm.
Narconon renovation, which I did
Yeah.
help to renovate, and the ED had his own renovation on his own house. And
Okay.
yeah, the staff members were brought to his house to help to
Hmm.
renovate his house for free. And then,
Wow.
here it comes the backlash. I was backlashing. Okay, it has nothing to do with the Narconon or
Yeah.
Scientology. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah. Of course not. That is
Yeah,
outrageous. So the ED is the executive director. So he's basically the guy in charge. And he was misusing his power, his level of authority to use you guys as free manual labor.
correct.
And you
Yes.
basically said like this.
Yes, I
Maybe a
give
little
him the middle
politely.
finger.
Maybe a little bit more politely, but yeah. And he didn't like that.
Not
Yeah.
really politely.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were having a little discussion, let's say that.
Right. Okay.
So yes, still I did not make any money since I
Mm,
am in Denmark. So, and
right.
that was already in 2014.
Yeah. So at this point, you're six months there in Denmark, or a little bit longer than that.
No, no. The first 3 months was on EPF.
Right.
After around 6 more months, I was helping for
Right.
Narconon,
Yeah.
and then 2 more years I worked as a staff member at
Right.
Narconon and
Yeah.
helped with the renovation at the
Right.
ED's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we arrived around 2014, the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, something
Yeah.
like that. So then I left again. They threw me out without any
Mm.
money, without any knowledge still.
Mm.
And I ended up here and there, couch surfing, sleeping here, sleeping there. Um, and after a while, some of the other Narconon stuff, because the Narconon ended, um, that Narconon where I was,
Mm-hmm.
and they bought an ideal Narconon for in another city.
Okay.
So the old Narconon is gone. So all the staff members who were there did not sign the new contract. So everybody was going somewhere else and leaving
Yeah.
some places.
Yeah.
So some of them reached out to me like, there is a job. Would you like to come and work here? And I said, yeah, sure, because I don't have any. job, so let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up after a while in Copenhagen as a cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, Scientologists are cleaning in Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like how it is.
Yeah, we
Everybody is a
had.
cleaner.
Yeah, it's interesting because also when I was a Scientology a child in Basel in Switzerland, which is where I'm from, there was a family of cleaners, and they clean specifically the gutters, from the houses, cleaning those
Mhm.
gutters. And we had, I think, another family who was cleaning windows. So it's interesting that there's this because I've also talked to Jeff from PTS for Life. He was also a cleaner, like when he was like
Yeah.
a Scientologist. I find it interesting how what the connection is. I think, and a theory of mine is simply that we were made to confront so much mess. So we were made to do so much cleaning, so much tidying up, and there was no. You were not able to say, "Oh, that's gross. I don't want to touch that." You just had to do it. There was just no way not to do it. So I think we just sort of got to the point that we don't care if we clean something. It wasn't like something that we were annoyed about, or it was just work. And so, and cleaning, generally speaking, people don't like to do. So that's an open opportunity to use as a job. So I think that is the reason why so many Scientologists uh, do that. Because also myself, for example, I'm somebody at work. I do a lot of the intense cleaning of the kitchen. I do the
Mhm.
stuff that is unpleasant, where there's a lot of old oil, where there's a lot of muck and stuff, and I just go in there, right in there, and just do it. And the other people are a little bit more hesitant, and yeah, a
Yeah,
little
I
tantrum
totally
there in
agree with
cleaning.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yes, I was cleaning in
Yeah.
Copenhagen, and
Mhm.
still it comes the thing, which is until 2016, I was an illegal PC or something like that because of my criminality.
Right. So
So
an illegal
per the
piece is,
Hungarian law, sorry,
yeah.
per the Hungarian law, I was still punishable until 2016.
Oh, so that means um you were basically on probation, so to speak. That you
Some
were
sort,
you
yeah.
it was not like that you ran away and now they're
No,
chasing after you, but it was more like, okay, we have our eye on you. If you step one step out of line, then we'll be more severe, so to
yes,
speak. Yeah,
exactly like
okay.
that. Yeah,
Right, got it. Hmm.
yeah. So I did not do any Scientology. I was not allowed to go into a course room or
Not even
study in the
normal,
org.
not even like the basics or anything like that.
Yeah, like an extension course, yes,
Yeah,
I could
sure.
have done, but
Okay.
I did not care too much, you know.
Okay. But did they try to get you to do that? Or were they not really that keen because you are this illegal PC?
Yeah, they did try a bit, but not as much as with other people.
Okay. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the time came and I was free totally, like
Mm.
you know,
Legally speaking, from the
legally
Hungarian.
speaking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Got it.
so I could do the bridge, and I paid the purif.
Hmm.
So I have done the purif and nothing else.
Okay.
After the purif, when I was done, I paid my next um, step on the bridge, which
Hmm.
is SRD, the
Yeah.
surviving rundown.
Right.
I started the TRs, um, but not the auditing sessions.
Hmm.
And during the time, I was again recruited for the Sea Org.
So this would have been 2016.
2016, yeah, end of
Okay.
2016.
So now, because you're not anymore an illegal PC, you became much more attractive for the SEOG, basically.
Yes,
Got it. Yeah.
exactly.
Hmm.
So yes, they recruited me again um, in November 2016.
Mm-hmm.
November, I signed the billionaire contract again,
Mm-hmm.
and again I gave up all the life which I had in Denmark.
Sure.
So I went on to EPF again,
Mm-hmm.
and now I finished it in 2 3 weeks, two and a
Wow.
half ish. Yeah.
Did you have to do all the courses again, or was there like some you have to do all of them again? Okay.
Yes, everything I needed to do again.
Right.
But it was easy because I have done it before, so I kind of
Sure.
remembered, and
Yeah, yeah.
I was more familiar with Scientology
Sure.
now, so
Yeah.
it was easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, and then I became a Sea Org member,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a Sea Org member for not even 1.5 years. I
Right.
left. I left February 2018.
Mm-hmm. And during that time, as I recall from your interview with Aaron from Growing Up in Scientology, you were
Yeah,
you were always just an expediter. Is that
yeah.
right?
I was
Yeah.
never posted anywhere.
Yeah. So an expediter is basically somebody. It's supposed to usually get right after you finished the EPF, and you expedite. So you go to different posts, you go to different areas wherever there is help needed until uh, HCO, which is the first division responsible for personnel, until they decide, okay, Balázs or Samuel or whoever is ideally posted for over here or over there. And this is not really based upon your actual talents. They will disregard your talents. I mean, you could have somebody who is a carpenter, right? Uh, but they don't need that, or rather, the only division for carpentry they would have is one that would benefit the staff. So, renovating staff accommodations, for example, and that is very low on the priority lists usually in the SEOG. And so they will use this person to do recruitment, for example. So they will. It's not really doesn't really matter what are your skills, what have you done before. It's more, well, where do we need somebody posted right now?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So you were
yeah.
able
Should I
to.
go? Yeah,
Do you want to maybe talk a little bit about what you did in the SEOG, like where you
yeah. This was my
expedited?
question. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Should
Okay, go
I
ahead,
go
please.
into that?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. So first, I was put in as a around the reg area, the
Hmm.
regging area.
Right.
This area is selling all the steps on the bridge, all the
Mm.
courses,
Yeah.
all the materials. It was in AUSH EU.
Hmm.
I did not really like it. You know why?
Mm. Why?
Because I still did not know what are those steps.
Right. And then you have to
I
sell
did
them.
the purif,
Mm.
and I needed to sell all the steps.
Yeah.
But how can I sell something if I don't know what that is?
Yeah. So how did you do that? Did you just say it's going to be amazing and look at all of these success stories and you're going to have all these powers?
Yeah, kinda.
Okay.
I I I put the publics to the other regis. Like
Mm.
I
Okay.
cannot really sell. I was just helping them out.
Sure.
So I did not really sell anything. I more like I did call them to get them in for an interview,
Sure.
or I don't know, because it was half time on post and half time study time.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was a bit easier to not go on post all day long. So
Hmm.
I could just skip some work.
Sure. Yeah. And then do some studies. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It went on for a month or maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
I was sent on a mission first time to Budapest for a
Mm.
weekend or
Hmm.
something like that, a few days, to do the same, to get people to pay their next level in AOSH EU.
Hmm.
I was the second person. There is a mission uh, leader or the first person.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and that is the second, and I was the second. So I still just call people and get them in for an interview, and the
Hmm.
other person saw the bridge steps for
Right.
Copenhagen, basically to
Yeah.
do the OT levels mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. So I went back and I said, okay, this is not for me. I want to leave.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Sea Org.
The Seal altogether. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not Scientology, but I want to leave the Sea Org.
Sure.
So, okay, they send me to CLO because who are in trouble, those people send back to CLO,
Hmm.
and you will be handled over there
Yeah.
or not. You never know.
Sure.
So yeah, I was handled for a while. They put me into ethics. I needed to read something, to do some math work, the
Mm.
physical work,
Yeah.
usual stuff. We know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. After I was working in CLO, just helping here, helping there, um, and they sent me to Los Angeles
Wow.
to be a Sea Org member in Los Angeles,
Wow.
like in ILO,
Okay.
International Liaison Office, or
Yeah. Yeah.
how is it? I don't even know.
Uh, yeah, probably International Liaison Office. Yeah. So before you had CLO, the Continental Liaison Office, and in Scientology, a continent is not the same as a continent in a normal world because you
Yeah,
have Scientology carves up the world in different ways, and each Sea Org base is responsible for a certain area of the world, and that area would be called a continent. So, a CLO Continental Liaison Office, there's one, for example, in the UK, and they are only responsible for UK, right? For Great Britain, United Kingdom, and then you have one in Denmark, obviously, and then the ILO, International Liaison Office. I'm assuming that's the one in charge of all of the CLOs all over the world.
yeah,
So you
correct.
were promoted.
I was promoted, yes,
Yeah,
but I didn't want to
fascinating.
go anywhere.
Yeah, you wanted to stay in Denmark.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
Denmark.
yeah.
So anyway, I was convinced, yes, you need to go because of all the senior intention, or I don't know how it's called. This,
Senior intention. Oh, I haven't heard that for ages. Yeah. Well, an
but
intention is like a postulate that you have that you say, I want to do this or what I want to do that. So senior intention would be somewhere up at the top. So it would be Mr. David Miscavige or whoever that says we're gonna
yeah,
do that and whatever. So we need to send up people up in those orgs or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm,
So anyway, I ended up in Los Angeles. Um, I did not like that period of my life.
mm,
The first month was okay. I was studying all day long, but I cannot really sit in one place all the time. So I kind of started to backflash again. Like, I'm not going to do this, so send me
yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And then the second month, I was helping in the Los Angeles org. That's a
Uh-huh.
Sea org.
Yeah.
I was helping here and there, half time and half time study.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I was talking to the ethics officers and all my seniors. Like, I want to go back to Denmark. This is not for me. I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 months later, yes, they sent me back to Denmark. And
Right.
even when I arrived in Denmark in CLO, again in CLO because I
Mm-hmm.
was in trouble, so I
Yeah.
needed to
Yeah.
go on ethics.
Mm-hmm.
Even my seniors did not know that I came back, so there was no coordination at all.
Wow. Yeah. This is not unusual in Scientology. There's no coordination with from one org to the other org in the Sea Org. It's dreadful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, LRH obviously discovered the best technology for communication. So there it
Oh
is.
yeah. And nobody communicates. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Exactly. Yeah.
so I came back. Yeah. Again, I said I want to leave the Sea Org.
Mm-hmm.
So again on ethics for a while. But okay, they handled me. Okay, you need to stay. It will be good. We find out something what fits to you. You know, a post.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I ended up again in AUSH EU
Hmm.
as a extension course officer
Oh, okay.
who is responsible for all the basics, congresses, you know, all
Hmm.
the lectures. You you do a course and you send in via email all the answers. So I
Yeah.
needed to grade them.
Right. Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
Did
Did
you
I
have?
do any basics or something? No.
I was just about to ask. Did you study any of the basics? And did you just did you have like any sort of training? Because you're not exactly a supervisor in that sense. Because as a supervisor, you would be in a course room, but the work that you do is almost like a supervisor because the supervisor also has to check the answers of the different things and so on and so forth. So, did you have any sort of training, hatting, or anything like that? Or
No. I mean, yeah, I read some hacking materials, some policies and so
yeah,
on, but I was not trained at all to be
yeah,
this kind of supervisor, as you
right,
mentioned, because
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
was kind of a supervisor.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I had to sit in front of a computer
Uh-huh.
all day long for
Yeah,
14 hours a day. Oh man, I
yeah,
hated it.
yeah,
As I mentioned, I am not that type of guy who sits down and
yeah.
do nothing.
But were you allowed to take a walk every once in a while from the computer? I'd be curious to know that.
No, no, you are on post. What are you talking about?
No, the reason why I'm asking this in a
Yeah.
cheeky way, and I knew you were going to say this, is because this is one of the basics is called the problems of work. And
Oh,
in there, it specifically talks about being, as I recall, it's been years since I read it. Um, it says that if you are doing, like if you are writing or on the computer or something for many, many hours, you can get like a very like headaches and things like that. And what helps to do that is a locational to go out and walk around a little bit and then come back again.
yeah. It did not cross my mind.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah, when they sent in some work, some lessons, then
Yeah.
of course I had to get up because it was in Russian, it was in German, it was in all kinds of
Languages.
languages.
So how did you do that with the different languages?
Either translated with Google Translate,
Wow.
or I got up and I found a person who speaks that language.
Okay.
So yes, sometimes I was walking around, but
Yeah, yeah.
you needed to be in a hurry all the time, like
Of course.
to
Yeah.
run. Otherwise, some senior came to you like, "What are you doing? You are waiting for what? Like, go and do something else. Then
Yeah,
come back
yeah.
later." So
Absolutely. There's no standing around or just sort of casually walking somewhere. You always have to be tuck, 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 tuck. Yeah.
yeah,
Do you now? I'm curious to know because I'm like this when I'm outside with friends and we're just walking somewhere. I'm almost jogging, and then people are always like,
mm,
"Sammy, like calm down. You're not at work. You can just walk normally." And I have a little trouble with that sometimes. That I just have to. Also, when I'm at work, I have a very quick step. And do you have still have that as well now?
I do have, yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I got used to it to go fast and as you said, zack, zack, zack. Just do the
Yeah. Yeah.
job
Yeah.
as fast as you
Exactly.
can,
Yeah.
precisely, of course.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah, which is fine because at least the Sea Org got me, or the Scientology got me to have this
The,
ability to work
yeah.
as
This
much as I
discipline.
can.
Yeah. This discipline, and always
Yeah,
something that I find looking back from my time is that always when I came to my physical limit of not being able to do more, I was pushed to do more, and I found I was able to do more. There was a little bit more that I could do. So now, even when I'm at work and I'm like, oh God, all of this work and all of this that I have to do, I just have to remember back then how it was. And I'm like, oh, come on now. I mean, that's nothing. It's peanuts now
that's
what you have to do
nothing. Yeah,
compared to back then. And then that just cheers me up because I'm like, oh God, no, that's nothing. I did so much more stuff than that. and then it makes it so much less less bad the work I have to do than at the moment, So there is that benefit, I would say, of having this discipline, of having work discipline. And I would say that ex Scientology, ex SEAL members specifically, are very good, at work. They do the work very well, but they do need a little bit of. But I found, and this happened to me, that I was taken advantage of by that, because
Yeah.
I've had an executive head chef. I work as a chef, by the way. That's why my name, for anyone who didn't know that. I had an executive head chef who would use this and would know that I have a very high work ethics back from the time in the SEOC, and I would stay many hours past my actual schedule to do the work, to finish the work. And I wouldn't say, okay, whatever, I've done already 3 hours overtime, I'm going to go now. I would just stay until it was done. And sometimes I would work same time, same hours as in the SEOC, because he knew that, he encouraged that. And only after a while that other chefs, other cooks in the kitchen sort of realized like how much I worked, they basically talked to me and said, this is not okay. This is not, and then it sort of, I was like, oh yeah, you're actually right. But it was just sort of like I came back into the same routine, basically, like back then. And it had almost like something comforting about it, because of back then how it was. And then I came into the same sort of rhythm. Anyway, weird. But yeah, it's something to it's good to have this work ethics, but it's important to also keep an eye on that and sort of realize, all right, and also say, all right, now it's break time, and really take your break time, really take your half an hour break or 1 hour break or whatever it is that you have, and don't just shovel down the food, but really take your time, have a little chit chat, get your coffee, and really use that. And everything else doesn't matter at that moment, and it's very important. And I do have to say this to myself as well. I'm now that we're already on a tangent on this. How is that for you? After having been in the SEOC, in this high tense, intensive environment of work ethics. Obviously, after you've left, you've had this high work ethics. But how is it now? Can you relax more easily and sort of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Um, I mean, when I work, I really work.
Yeah.
And if there is a break time, then I take the break time. So it's not
Hmm.
like in the Sea Org, I need to
Yeah.
run and
Yeah.
really shovel in all my food. No, I just sit down, relax, eat
Hmm.
slowly. Anyway, I'm a slow eater. So
Yeah.
even in the Sea Org, I was a slow eater. So that's why I hated this 25 minutes break, because you
Yeah.
need it to be fast. Anyway, so yes, I took it back a bit,
Hmm.
like step back and mm, don't rush too much.
Yeah.
But when I work, it's the same. Like I need to work. I focus on it.
Yeah.
It did not really change too much.
Yeah. I would say the same with me. Although what I do have to say, I have improved in, because before I had very little patience with people in the kitchen. If you
Mm,
didn't do it right away, to me it was like sabotage, rather than maybe he didn't understand what he needed to do. Maybe uh, I don't know, whatever. He's just not as fast or whatever. And because
yeah,
that was sort of like the attitude in the SEOC. If I can do it in 10 minutes, Balash, you can do it in 10 minutes. There's no excuse that you cannot do it in 10 minutes. No excuse. And I had this as well when I left the SEOC, when I was working with other people. I particularly had difficulty with that when the person was older than me, because then I would think, well, the person has more experience, so they should be able to do it faster than me. And maybe it's something that didn't do as fast or as well or whatever. I would feel very, very annoyed by that. And I would think like sabotage. This is sabotage, which is so weird. But that's something I have obviously now improved, thank God, and sort of realized that was that. Um, but yeah, I think this something this takes some years to sort of calm down. But I still am
yeah,
very focused at work. Like I'm never on my phone at work or anything like that. I don't chit chat. I do not talk about the weekend. I do not talk about I don't know what I did in the evening or anything like that. No time for that. Hello, hello. How are you? Good. Thanks. And you?
Yeah, and
Good.
that's
Thanks.
it.
Okay. Bye. Finish. That's all the conversation I'll have, and then work. Um. Yeah. And sometimes I've in past work I've been taken to HR and asked, like, are you not happy here? Like you seem a little grumpy sometimes. And I would say, no, I'm just here to work. I'm not, but yeah,
So there
social
is some
skills.
stuff you need to improve still.
Yeah, social skills. I need to improve a little bit and sort of
Yeah.
allow a casual conversation as well. Or when maybe there's a day where it's not quite so busy at work, to just say, all right, just relax a little bit, because there'll be another day will be much more busy. So rather than, okay, now I'm not busy, I can go now and clean the bin, or I can clean something else. I can do something like that to use up all the time. So take it a bit more easy, and yeah.
Yeah, here is the same. I cannot really chit chat at work.
Mm,
Just as you mentioned, hi, hi, how are you? Good. Okay, see you. Do your job. I do my job.
yeah,
Uh, so anyway, back to my story, right?
exactly. Yes, back to your
Uh,
story.
yeah, I was the
So you
extension course officer. Yeah,
yes, exactly. Yeah.
for 1 month, and
Hmm.
then I said, okay, I want to leave the Sea Org again. I'm not going to
Yeah.
sit here.
Hmm.
This is not how we clear the planet. This is not how we save everybody by sitting
Yeah.
here. No, this is not for me.
Mm-hmm.
So the AOSH EU, the highest ethics officer,
Mm-hmm.
grabbed me and threw me out. Okay, now you go to CLO or wherever you go. Don't come back until you are totally handled
Right.
yourself, or somebody handled you.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, that was a bit tough, because she
Hmm.
was very serious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, okay, I ended up in CLO again. Ethics, washing dishes, etc., in the kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
doing some math work. And I got the idea that I would be a good admin course. Or what? Admin, how is
Uh,
it? Uh,
uh, well, that you're working in admin in
yeah,
some
the course
what
admin, sorry. The course
the
admin
course
in
admin.
CLO. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, who is administrating all the courses
Mm-hmm.
in CLO, who is doing what, and when it's finished, I don't know,
Go
you
on a
take care
test.
of the student folder, what they studied,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, and so on. Yeah, it was pretty relaxing. It was a kind of okay job. I was
Mm-hmm.
not posted there, I was still an expeditor,
Right. Yeah.
but I had that post for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But it started again, the backflashing style,
Yeah.
still sitting in a small room, doing nothing, just putting some folders here and there.
Yeah.
Uh, so they figured out, what if we send him again on a mission?
Mm-hmm.
And they sent me on a mission again to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Okay.
Yes, because the new ideal org was about to open in Amsterdam.
Okay.
It was in 17, end of 17,
Mm-hmm.
around Christmas time.
Yeah.
So I was there for 3 months in Amsterdam.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it supposed to be that long, or did it just end up being that long?
Look, uh, they never give you any information, do they?
I don't know. I was
They
never sent on a mission. I don't know.
oh, okay, good for
Yeah.
you, kinda.
Yeah. No, I'm
Yeah,
glad
they
because
just say,
yeah.
yeah, they just say, okay, you need to go and you will do this
Mm-hmm.
and that, whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then you will call back. You will be
Right.
called back. Okay. The first month, my job was basically to do the central files update, to make a
Okay.
new, bridge steps on each person who was in the central files.
Mm-hmm.
But we finished that project. So somebody needed to empty the old org, meaning
Hmm.
to throw out everything,
Right.
all the furniture, everything what was inside.
Sure.
So it had to be empty. So they figured out, okay, I am the right guy to do that.
Okay.
Man, it was horrible, to lift all this furniture alone. Sometimes I was just myself.
Really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was a huge building, like 2 floors, no elevator because, it was broken, of course.
Yeah.
So sometimes I got some help from other public Scientologists,
Hmm.
but not too much. So it went on for more than a month to get these garbages out.
Sure.
Yeah, and the new ideal org opened in the inner city,
Hmm.
which was much bigger, and of course it was just a palace.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looked super nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I ended up there again just to put the folders its place. I was there for maybe 2 weeks, and there was nothing else to do for me.
Hmm.
So they called me back to CLO in Copenhagen because my mission was done, thank
Right.
God, after 3 months.
Yeah.
So I ended up there around New Year's in 2018.
Hmm.
And then I decided in my mind, okay, whatever comes, nobody can handle me anymore. I am
Right.
not doing any Sea Org shit.
So this was now the one, if I counted correctly, this was the 136th time where you said you want to leave the Sea Org?
Yes,
Something like that.
more or less, plus minus
Yeah.
two. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I ended up in the kitchen mostly.
Classic. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which I like because nobody talks to you. You can do
Right.
the dishes, and I was happy.
Yeah.
I was in the kitchen, so I was around the food, so
Right.
I can just eat whenever I wanted.
Sure.
I could
Sure.
just hide. Nobody is allowed to come in the kitchen. No
That's
seniors,
right.
nobody.
Yeah. That's right.
So I was kind of safe,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was in a good relationship with the cook in
Hmm.
CLO.
Hmm.
So it was good for me. And yeah, sure, they send me all around in Copenhagen, to Norland Hotel, where
Hmm.
the public Scientologists eat and the Sea Org members. They send me to sometimes to Corona, where they sleep, the Sea Org
Yeah.
members.
Yeah.
So they send me all around to do the dishes.
Hmm.
And it went on for 2 months. During that 2 months, I got some sec check, because I wanted to leave the Sea Org. So
Yes.
there is some certain steps you need to do. You need to read some policies. You need
Hmm.
to get some sec check. So I got all these steps done, and finally I could leave in February, end of
Right.
February.
Yeah.
I just left the Sea Org, not Scientology.
Yeah. Sure.
In my mind, I kind of wanted to leave Scientology as well,
Hmm.
but still I did not know anybody else but Scientologists and Sea Org
Right.
members
Yeah.
in
And
Denmark.
that's why you wanted to obviously still stay connected with Scientology, because otherwise, you know, y- I mean,
Yeah,
what are you
where
gonna
do I
do?
go?
You're in
What
a
do I
foreign
do?
country. You don't speak the national language. I mean, at this point, obviously, I'm assuming you learned English,
Yeah,
right?
I did learn English, yes.
Right.
Mostly in Los Angeles because I
Right.
had no opportunity to talk to Hungarians. So I
Right.
had
Of course.
to really
You had
learn
to learn.
English there.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened to me as well when I was sent off to England when I was 13 years old. I spoke maybe, 20 words, 30 words English. And then I
Yeah,
was sent into an environment, everybody spoke English, and it was almost forced. You had to learn, and it was quite quickly. So yeah, funny that happened to you as well, like that. Okay, wow.
yeah.
So it was more the fear of, or the uncertainty of just being left completely alone, rather than, oh, Scientology is still great, but the circle wasn't that great.
Yeah, the Sea Org was not that great. I did
Yeah.
not sign for this. I did not see how we are going to clear the planet, how we are going to stop all the war, all
Right.
the drugs, or you name it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't say it. Like, this is just BS all around.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I left, um, I joined back to my old working place as a
Where you were
cleaner, of
cleaning.
course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. What else, you know?
Mm.
And you know, the company's boss, or who owns the company, is a
Mm.
Scientologist, of course.
Right.
So after a while, they made me to do the lower conditions, to finish the lower conditions against the Sea Org.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not want to do that, but I
Mm.
did not want to lose my job either. So
So what did you do?
yeah, I had to I had to pay some money to the
Mm.
ideal org in
Okay.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I got some money back not so long ago, this
Mm-hmm.
year. Because
From that, where you
yeah,
paid.
yeah.
Ah, right. Okay, we'll get
So,
to that afterwards. Yeah.
yes. So I paid a big amount of money in
Mm.
uh, in Diki org, in
Yeah.
Denmark org. It was maybe 50, 80,000 Danish koronas.
Mm. Do you know how much that is in dollars or
In
in
dollars,
euros?
$15,000 around.
Oh wow, that's quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I paid that much money there. I spent it on basics.
Mm-hmm.
Some, I bought some basics. I threw out later. I didn't even open any of that. So, um, yeah, and I did some work. I was the in charge of the volunteer minister tent.
Okay.
Yeah, just to put out in the city, pack it up, and put it back to the org.
Right.
Kinda.
Yeah.
That was my job
Yeah.
on the weekends or during the week, sometimes here and there.
Mm. Yeah.
So yes, finally I finished my lower condition. So I was in good standing again.
Mm-hmm.
I was a Scientologist again. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, I did not do anything. I was in good standing, but not do any courses or not do any Scientology steps.
Yeah.
Even though I had the SRD open,
Right.
I had an extension course open. Yeah. So yeah, 2019, it is part of my story.
Mm-hmm.
2019, I really wanted to separate myself from Scientology,
Right.
and I did some business here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and my life was super good.
Mm.
Even I moved to Malta for 3 months.
Wow, Malta is beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's a
Yeah.
small island, but it is
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the tax rate is super low, so you can save some
Mm.
money. And
Excellent.
yeah, I don't want to go into it, but
Yeah.
you need to go there. It is super nice.
I've been to Malta last year with my stepmother for a small holiday. It's lovely.
Okay,
Yeah.
it is lovely. Yeah. So yes, I moved there, but some shit happened to my family, to my mom. I don't want to go into that.
Sure.
That's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But she lost her house in Hungary. So
Mm.
I said, okay, stop my business, stop everything. Let's go back and help her. So I
Yeah.
gave up my life
Mm.
again to help her out.
Yeah.
So I ended up in Hungary for a while. No Scientology at all.
Mm-hmm.
I came back to Denmark in 2021. Um, and a little while is gone. So I was not in the org I did not
Mhm.
talk to anybody,
Mhm.
kinda, here and there, yes, but not too much.
Yeah.
So I decided, what if I try out myself again if the e-meter works? Because I really wanted to know how this works.
Right.
Because I think it is just BS. It is
Yeah.
fucking BS. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Let's say when I was in CLO, I was the course admin, and there was some drills for the e-meter drills.
Mhm.
Somebody made or wanted to become a supervisor or something. They did
Yeah.
some e-meter drills, and I was the person behind the e-meter,
Mhm.
and I had the cans, sorry.
Yeah.
And there is some list about vegetables, about
Ah,
animals.
I remember that.
Ye-
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
and
they just read it down to see any reaction from the needle. Yeah.
exactly. And
Mhm.
sometimes it reads, sometimes it doesn't. Then
Yeah.
you go again, and
Right.
sometimes it reads on that one, sometimes it reads on the other one.
Sure.
And that time I had this doubt in my mind, like I I, I was thinking the same thing when the list was listed for me,
Yes.
and sometimes it read on the cauliflowers, sometimes it read on the broccoli. Like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, it was my first thought,
Yeah.
and yeah, back to my story. I was thinking, what if? Yeah, oh, no, sorry. When I left the Sea Org, I got the sec check,
Mhm.
and
That's right.
again,
Okay.
yeah, on the
Oh, after you
e-meter.
left. After you
No,
left
no,
the CEO.
no. During leaving
During
the Sea Org,
right.
that's the
Yes.
program. So
Yeah.
I need to do some ethics handling and some
Yeah.
sec check
Mhm.
before I leave the Sea Org. So I got the sec check on the e-meter, and again, it was the same shit. Like, I did not even think anything, and the
Mhm.
e-meter read
Yeah.
something. So I had some overheads and witholds,
Apparently.
which,
Yeah.
yeah, apparently, which I did not. Like, I had
Yeah.
to come up with such a thing. Like, I did not iron my shirt, and like,
Ah, right.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was my second thought. Like, totally, like, okay, something is wrong with this e-meter. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So okay, now get to back my story to my
Mhm.
story. 2021. I was thinking, what if I really go and find out how it works?
Right.
But what can I do? I have an open course, the SRD, which doesn't include the e-meter, the
Yeah.
extension course, which also does not include the e-meter. What can I
Mhm.
do? Okay, I figured out. I was in Hungary, I was here and there. So what if I ask for a security check?
Okay.
You can do that, they said. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course, it costs a lot of money, 20,000 coronas, like
Wow.
five,
Yeah.
6, $7,000. I don't know.
Wow.
So yeah, I paid not that much, like more like $3,000 ish.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I paid the money, and I got the sec check first
Mhm.
time. And first time in English. I did some auditing session, or I did some bridge step. You can call that.
And before, did you always do it in Hungarian?
Yeah, mostly
Okay.
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, which was fine. As you can see, I can talk in English, and when it doesn't come out, then I explain it on a way that you can understand,
Sure. Yeah.
kind of. So yeah, it went on the security check. Of course, the time ran out. It is just 12 and a half hours for one
Mhm.
intensive. So
Yeah.
it was over. But during the time, again, the e-meter read on some certain subject, which I don't know what and how and why it did. So I said, okay, this doesn't work. So again, I had to make up my mind about, like, I did not make my bed and my mom was
Yeah.
pissed at me. So it's
Right.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
some
yeah. Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. 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 Stupid things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, after my time was over, I said, okay, I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to pay, but they were calling me, texting me, okay, come in, we can handle the situation.
So they wanted you
Um,
to pay more so you can continue with the sec check because you were not finished properly finished with the sec check, but you had those 12 and a half hours that you paid for, they were used up. You were not
yeah,
finished with the sec check, and they wanted you to finish, which obviously would mean you have to pay for more hours. Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I decided, okay, now here is the time. I have my own life in Denmark finally, without
Hmm.
any Scientology, because I
Yeah.
had my own company. I created my own company
Oh, good for you.
in 2021. Yeah.
Yeah.
What company was that? Cleaning company.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, you have all the technology from Hubbard how to clean properly, so nothing can go
Oh, yes.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I had my own life
Yeah.
finally in Denmark without any
Mhm.
Scientologist. So I decided, okay, I'm not going in. I don't pick up the phone. I don't send any message to them.
Right.
So again, I show them
Yeah.
my middle finger, like,
Mhm.
totally.
Yeah.
And it went on until New Year's Eve, 2021, New Year's Eve.
Mhm.
I sent my first email to Oza saying, give back my money, because I had some leftover money,
Mhm.
like
That you didn't use.
$800.
Yeah.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
AOSAGU.
Mhm.
So I tried out, what if I can get back some of the money, like, why
Sure.
not? It's not much,
Yeah.
I don't need it, but you never know.
Of course.
So I sent a nasty email saying, give back my money or I will sue the shit out of you. Yeah, I got back the answer, yeah, you need to come in, you can get back your money, but you need to sign the waiver.
Right.
And yeah, I sent back, no, I am not coming in. I don't want to go in anymore to AOSAGU or anywhere else close
Yeah.
to any Scientology org. So I dropped the subject for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. I did not talk to any Scientologist, any Sea Org member, nobody.
And nobody tried to talk to you?
Yeah, they tried, but I blocked
Okay.
them or I did
Yeah.
not answer them
Right.
for 2 years. No
Yeah.
Scientology. You know what I did? I did only watch Aaron's video or all the ex-Scientologists on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I went into the rabbit hole. I
And
found
this
out everything.
is this when you started, or did you already before watch a little bit, but or is this when you actually really started to look these
I
videos from
did
X?
watch, yeah, I did watch some videos during my sec check when I paid
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
I did watch some of the videos, but after the email, like, give back my money, then
Yeah.
I really went into it. Like,
Right.
literally watched
Mm.
every single one. Leah
Yeah.
Remini, Mike Rinder,
Yeah.
you name all of them.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Yeah. So actually, I got all the knowledge from
Yeah.
the ex-Scientologists
Yeah.
or ex-Sea Org members or
Mhm.
second gen Sea Org
Sure.
members.
Yeah.
I got all the knowledge. What is Scientology? How it works? What is on the OT levels?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got brave again this year
Mhm. Yeah.
because finally David Miscavige was served in January around, or
Yes. Yes.
February, I don't know,
Yeah.
in one of the lawsuit or two. You don't
Mhm.
know, I don't know. So I got brave enough. Okay, what if I try again to get back my money?
Yeah.
And again, I started to write to the OSA guy in AOSHEU.
So
Okay,
this would
give
have
back
been
my money.
February, March this year when you wrote them?
It was no, in January before my birthday.
In January 2024.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I wrote to the OSA in AOSHEU
Mhm.
to try again to get back my money.
Yeah.
And I forgot, because I never did anything in the DK org,
Mm-hmm.
in the Denmark org. I never did any auditing, any courses, nothing. I just paid some money
Yeah.
after I left the Sea org,
Yeah.
and I forgot that I have so much money there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, wow, what if I write to them too?
Right.
So I did.
Mm-hmm.
In February this year, I
Mm-hmm.
started to do this action,
Yeah.
and end of February, basically short version, I got all the money back from the
Wow.
IDLOR and the AOSH EU2.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think you, as far as I'm aware, I mean, you're the first person I've ever heard that got the money back like that.
I mean that is one person, because that's why I got the courage to ask back my money. It is
Okay.
a lady, I think, not Tori Magu, but the other one, close to Aaron, growing up in Scientology. Uh,
Um,
It starts with a K.
Anyone in the
What is
chat, if you know, um,
what is her name?
with K.
I think, yeah. Anyway,
Well, maybe somebody in the chat will know who. But anyway, you heard about her situation, that she asked for it and she got the money back, and you thought to yourself, all right, I'll give it another.
yeah,
Oh, is it maybe Catherine?
no,
No, somebody wrote Catherine, but no. Okay.
I don't think so. But she's on YouTube. She made the video, and
Okay.
she said, I got back my money,
Hmm.
so everybody can get the money back.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
why I got the, little brave encouragement, like,
Sure.
okay, let's
Sure.
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got back my money, and after a while, um, Miriam, Scientology up north, put
Yes.
up some little videos about Norland Hotel, about Dikior,
Hmm.
and then immediately I reached out to her, like, okay, we should meet, and I can feed you some information. I never
Sure.
thought I will be on YouTube or make
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
own channel.
Well, she was the one who, because as I understand it, originally you were just gonna help her. You're gonna give her information, say go over here, go over there, and maybe tell
Yeah,
her about the schedule. And then she basically said, "Well, great, thanks, but why don't you do your own YouTube channel?" Basically,
yeah,
is that how that happened? Basically,
yeah. This is how it happened. Yes, it took
yeah,
me it took me some time to yeah, to create my own channel, or
sure,
really go for it. Like, okay, if I speak out, because this OZA tactic, the fair game and so
of
on.
course, yes,
If you speak out, then nobody will speak to you, and they can go after you. But I already did not speak to them for
right,
more than 2 years. So who
yeah,
cares?
yeah,
They can come after me. They know everything about me.
yeah,
I can put it on YouTube. Everybody can know about me. So who cares?
sure, yeah, 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 right.
So yeah,
So
here we are.
when did you start your YouTube channel? In March, April?
For, I don't know, maybe end of April,
Okay,
something like that, or maybe in May.
wow,
I don't
yeah.
really know.
So you only have it for 2.5 months now, the channel.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
very, very young. My channel is very young.
yeah. Okay, awesome. Right. And you've done quite a few videos, you've done quite a few lives. We've seen quite exciting, interesting things happening, like a wedding being, terrorized by you and your crime in hand, Scientology up north. And there was also, as I understand it now, you still have some money left there, because there was another video where you walked into an org and you shouted, "I want my money back."
Yeah,
Do you want to
it
tell us
is.
about this money and how that is different to that what you've already gotten?
Yeah, what I got back, it was advance payment for my bridge steps.
Right.
But there is another. kind of money what you can make out of Scientology when you are working for IAS, the International Association of Scientologists.
And you
This
were
is
working for them for a while because you were setting up the tents?
no. That's something else.
Okay.
I was just, it was in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I did all kind of businesses. I wanted all the cash flow from everywhere, even from Scientology.
Yeah.
So I went into AO mostly, and I was just talking to publics to pay the IES membership.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
one
So then
year,
you got commission.
yeah, I
Right.
did not, but yes, the
But
10%, yeah,
in theory, you would have gotten that. Yes. Got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So no matter how much they pay, you get the 10% commission
Right.
if
Yes.
you want to get the
Yeah.
commission, because you don't need to get it. But I said, yeah, sure, put
Of
it on my
course.
account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Rather than them paying it to you cash or whatever, they put it directly on your account.
yeah. But I
Okay.
did not put it anywhere. I never got any commission.
Receipt. Yeah.
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 So now it is not part of the deal anymore. Like because I have my waiver. It says you have no more claim from AOSH EU or from DKORG, which
Yeah.
I do not have. It is
Yeah.
about IAS. That's
Right. Which is a
something else.
different organization.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's located, unfortunately for them, it's located in DKORG and in AOSH EU. So I need to
Yeah.
go there and
Yes, of
shout
course.
them,
Yeah.
which I love to do that.
I was gonna ask you, how was that? Like, I mean, I have to be honest, I would be terrified. I mean, I don't have any money there, there or at St. Hill or anywhere like that. But how was that? Did you have to sort of like motivate yourself? Did you have to take a shot of vodka? What did you do to sort of how was that for
Not
you?
really. No. Um, I can go back the time a bit. When
Okay.
first I met with Scientology up north, I was
Mhm.
super lost. I didn't know what to do, or
Yeah.
you know.
But
Anyway,
you
I was
yeah,
lost. Let's say that.
sure.
And then we met a few times. We talked. I made my own channel, so I got a little more courage. Like, okay, I can do this. I can
Mhm.
go against them. Like, nothing to be afraid of. They are
Yeah,
just people.
absolutely. Yeah.
And most of them I know already. So
Right.
so these days, yeah. Now I am just, I'm so excited. Okay, let's go there and let's mess with them. What can they do? They can just shut their door down, and that's it.
Yeah.
And this is what we see in each channel. You name
Yeah,
any of the FPTV channel.
absolutely.
All the orgs, like, immediately shade tag, door tag.
Wall tag,
Yeah,
bush tag, anything. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
yeah. So now I can go there, and yeah, of course I need some. I need to put my mind to it. Like, okay,
Sure.
let's go, let's do this. Don't do it for too long, because the police will come for sure. They are
Mhm.
always calling the police, so
Of
I need
course,
to
of
watch
course.
out. Yeah, not break any laws.
Yeah.
But I love it when I do that. I love it because I can see on them, they are so afraid. They don't know what to do or how to handle the situation.
Sure. Because they were overwhelmed by that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these days I love it, and
Yeah.
I will
That's awesome.
continue.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think day after tomorrow we are going out and make them uncomfortable again.
Excellent. Awesome. Do you have any sort of future little project plans that you want to share with the class? Anything that's not, sort of like secret or anything like that? Anything to look forward to? Or just generally speaking, anything? I mean, you've done now a lot of lives, being there and filming the situation and everything and talking to people, which also I found amazing how many people were also willing to talk to you guys until, of course, they found out you're SPs. Then that's another matter altogether. But are you planning to do other things as well? Maybe videos, or maybe where you just talk about little chapters of
Yeah,
your life or something, break it down a little bit more, anything like that?
yeah, we were talking about it. Yes, we
Hmm.
should do some recap or break down our videos or our
Right.
chat.
Yeah.
But I have a full-time job,
Yeah.
and when I do such a video, such a live video, it takes so much energy, mentally,
Hmm.
physically, emotionally. So I
Yeah.
need some recovery time,
Sure. Yeah.
because it's not easy to go there and shout at them.
No, of
You
course not.
know?
Because it's not that you're just standing there and only the Scientologists see you. It's just random people also, doing things in
Yeah,
public. It can be a little awkward. It can be embarrassing. People might shake their head looking at you or something like that, and it does have a toll on you. That's for sure. Yeah.
yeah. But behind the scenes, yes, we are working on many things.
Cool.
I don't want to give any tips for OSA, so here is my
Yes.
middle finger again for
Yes.
them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are working on. Okay, the purpose is to end Scientology in Denmark, to kick them out,
Right.
to shut them down totally. Like
Yeah.
no more mission, no more orgs, nothing in Denmark.
Yeah.
That's one of our goal,
Excellent.
and we are working on that behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Yeah, and good news is tomorrow. Yeah, I can share this one because nobody knows anything. Tomorrow I will meet one of the public Scientologists in Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the SPTV Foundation can help somebody to leave the Sea Org in
Excellent.
Denmark. So
Yeah.
it started.
And
That's
as
why
I've
we have this channel.
And as I've heard, Aaron has as also Aaron from Growing Up in Scientology, who is on the board of us SPTV Foundation. He gave you and Scientology Up North the permission to say to people,
Yeah.
we have resources, we can help you, and so on and so forth,
Yes.
which is awesome. Yeah,
It is super awesome. It makes me so calm because
of course.
alone, yeah,
Yeah.
alone or with Miriam, we cannot really help as much as with a foundation or
Mm,
with the SPTV community behind us.
right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
You have.
yes,
Yeah. This is fantastic. Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Cool. All right. Shall we pick up some of the questions and comments?
sure thing.
All right, let's have a poke around. So we've got this one here from Scientology Up North. Glad to see some of my favorite SPs. Oh, stop it. Yes. Glad to see you here too. Right, we've got here a question from El Sarmento with fabulous green hair. Question. Did they change you money for the 5 courses to then work for free? Let me see.
What?
They charge you money for the 5 courses to then work for free. Oh, I think
The
this was
EPF.
when the EPF, because on the EPF you have the 5 courses. So when you do the 5 courses, you don't have to pay for them, of course, because you're on the EPF and then you're in the SEOG. But once you've left the SEOG, you have to pay for that. You have to pay for everything that you've done in the SEOG, so including the EPF courses. So yes, you do work for free in a manner of speaking when you are in the SEOG. I mean, you get a little bit of pay, of course, pocket money basically. But
Yeah,
afterwards, if you were to leave the SEOG, you have to pay for those 5 courses, including anything else, any other courses that you did while you were in the SEOG. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Thanks for the question. And then here we've got, I love that you back chatted them, or as in Scientology would say, backflash.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
I
backflash is,
met
yeah,
many times.
back chatting. Yeah. Somebody says do that and you just say no or whatever, Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
and I love to do that.
Yeah. Right. And then you've got here from Nermin Otkan. Question. How were you forced to sign a 1 billion-year contract?
I was not really forced. It's because I
You,
asked, what is it for? You know, is there
yeah,
any legal uh,
binding you legally.
yeah,
Hmm.
but no, it is just some, how
It's
is it?
coercion. It's coercion. It's called coercion, where they basically
Yeah,
talk to you how important the Siok is, and uh, this is the only opportunity we have to save the planet. Can't you see the planet is dying and so forth? And they're basically guilt tripping you to,
yeah,
if you don't sign this, like it's okay if you don't sign this, but you're a piece of shit if you don't, because I've just told you how the world is. We're all dying here. Please help. And then you say no. Well, you know, and that's sort of attitude. I mean, when I signed my billionaire contract when I was 9 years old, and I was brought in a small little room, closed the door. There was a SIG member sitting on the at the desk on a chair, and another SIG member was standing there, and they yat. I don't remember exactly what they said, but they said something along the lines of, as I said, the world is dying. We need your help. We need everyone's help to save the planet. And isn't Scientology fantastic, and so on and so forth. And but what they got me on was, oh, you don't have to do any school. So as a 9-year-old hearing that, I was like, oh, where do I sign? That's perfectly fine
yeah,
for me.
exactly.
So I wouldn't say it's I think as a rule, I wouldn't say you're really forced to sign a SIP contract, at least not for my case. And I think also for you, Balázs, you were not really forced to sign it, but you're basically being guilt tripped. You're being told that if you don't do this, you're letting everyone down, and so on and so forth. So until
Yeah,
eventually you sort of give up and say, all right, fine, I'll sign it, or maybe you genuinely see the light. You're like, oh yes, my God, this makes absolute sense. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm sure that there have been people who were forced, but I just wasn't, and Balázs, you were not either. So
No, me
it
neither.
doesn't
No.
apply to us really. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Got here another comment from Nermin Otkan. Comment: backflashing is a good thing. It's putting your critical skills to work. Absolutely true. But on the e-meter, it reads as a rock slam, which is basically a disagreement. Well, I mean, a rock slam is supposed to be, apparently a rock slam is if you have evil intentions, like you generally want to hurt, you generally want to do something really evil. Now, well, no, that's not true. I've heard of one person who've had a rock slam, and then that person was sent on the RPF when I was in the SEOC. But it's a very rare occurrence.
Yeah,
But yeah, backflashing is a good thing. It is
yeah.
critical thinking, absolutely.
I also met one person who had rock slam in the Sea
Yeah,
Org,
yeah,
um, and he was just put on ethics because there is no RPF anymore, thank God.
right.
So he was on very low level for long time.
Yeah,
And you know what? When I did when I asked for my sec check, when I
yeah,
paid for it,
yeah,
I really thought about hurting, my auditor, or
yeah,
or think about LRH and David Viscovich like these are just idiots, like,
yeah,
and
yeah,
there
yeah,
was no Rockland. So it is a bullshit.
yeah. And on that, actually, uh, I've been doing Scientology courses since I'm able to read. Since
Mm.
I'm about 4 or 5 years old, I've been doing Scientology courses. So every time you finish a course, you have to go on an EMIT to attest to it, to basically show
Yeah,
that you've done the course properly, you understand, and blah 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 blah. And so I've been on the EMIT many many times. Of course, I had to do sec checks as well and word clearing and all of that. And by the time when I left the SEOC in 2012, I still believed it worked. But then when I was doing courses in Scientology afterwards, I sort of figured out how to make my needle float, which is very simple. I take off my
yeah,
shoes. I take off my shoes. I had put the heater on, and then put my feet in like a warm blanket, and I just sort of rub them a little bit together. Oh, thank you very much. Your needle is floating. And I did this many times also when I was in the SEOC and I had to attest to something. But it was suggested, oh, why don't you do this? Maybe you loosen up your belt. Maybe your belt is a bit tight or something like that. Put some hand cream on and so on and so forth. And something that I sort of realized as a pattern that always worked was taking off my shoes and rubbing them while there was a heater blasting on the feet. And then I would always get a floating needle, regardless of what I was thinking or
yeah,
whatever. So
yeah.
yeah, I can attest to it that it doesn't. I can attest to the fact it's bullshit. So yeah, all right. Got here another question. Balázs, what kind of music do you like? Oh, that's. I'm gonna change the question slightly. What was sort of
Yeah.
the music that you listened to in the Siok, if indeed you were allowed to listen to any music, and what is the sort of music you listen to now?
Look, in the Sea Org, oof, actually, I figured out in the Sea Org there
Hmm.
was three months when I did not even hear any music anywhere, not even
Wow.
from the radio or nowhere. And
Right.
on the third month, I was a bit, going cuckoo, going crazy. Like, what's
Right.
going on with me?
Yeah.
And I figured out I did not listen to music for 3 months now.
Yeah.
Man, so no, in the Sea Org, not really listen to any music. But before that and after that, my favorite music is minimal techno and
Hmm.
hardcore.
And hardcore. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I can listen to any kind of music,
Yeah.
but those are my favorite types.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Uh, all right. Any particular band you're listening to now that you're sort of obsessed about, or something you just newly discovered?
Um, there is so many bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made my top 100 playlist. I
Oh,
mean,
top 100 even. Oh,
songs.
goodness. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. You've got another interesting question. One Love 51,000 question. Does Ron Hubcult have a relaxing hobby like you have your painting? Right. Because I do paint, which is something,
Mhm.
because working in the kitchen now also it's very stressful. There's a lot of shouting, running around, and so on and so forth. And as a sort of balance, I do like to paint, which is very calming, very relaxing. There's no need to hurry or anything like that. Do you have anything like that as well, as something that you like to do as a relaxing thing?
Yeah. For me, when I do calisthenics, I do sport.
Mm, cool.
This is what gives me relaxing time.
Yeah, and it's healthy as well. So
Yeah,
it's a win. It's a win-win. Excellent.
yeah.
Right, here's another question from Tano Louis Tan Louis, something like that. I do apologize. If you had a time machine, when would you like to return to? Oh goodness, where would you
Me or
like to
you?
return to? I don't know. I'm gonna ask you. When would you like to return to, if at all?
I wouldn't turn back. I would
Hmm.
turn forward somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't care about the past. It's already gone. I wouldn't change a thing.
yeah,
I did not regret anything in my life.
hmm,
So I wouldn't turn it back.
yeah. Me, I don't know what I mean, in what circumstance? Like, do I go back and then me as being me now, or rather my conscious going back to my younger body self? That would be interesting. Um, I don't know. There are several moments in my life where I could have needed a bitch slap to sort of wake up. But I don't know. I mean, you know, I would say that I'm my fabulous self now, as are you, Balázs, because of our past, because of what happened, because of what we see,
Yeah,
of the people we've met, and who knows how we would be now or where we'd be if we didn't have those experiences, good or bad. So I wouldn't want to change it really because I don't know where I would be then, because I'm very pleased with my life as it is now. I'm quite content. So yeah, but interesting question nonetheless.
yeah. It was interesting. Yeah.
Oh, here's a flattering comment. Comment Simon is a great interviewer. Oh, stop it. Well, Balázs is a great interviewee, of course.
Am I?
Yes, you are. You
Okay.
have a
Thank
very
you.
you have an engaging way of talking, of explaining, of going nice along the track, and then when you go back again to the story where you left off, rather than somewhere else. So yeah, I was
Yeah, I
able to
tried my
follow.
best.
Quite well. But you've got another comment from Nermin Otkan. comment. All warriors backflash. It's how we combat fascist or authoritarian dictators. Coup date. I'm not sure what that is. Sea Org something Floridu. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
need
but
to
yeah,
translate this.
I'm not sure what that means exactly. If Nermin Otken, if you're still around, if you want to explain the last bit. But yes, all warriors backflash. It's how we combat fascist authoritative dictators. Yeah, I agree. Would you like to add anything to that, Balázs?
Yeah, no, I'm
No.
missing the last part, so I need some explanation.
Yeah. All right. Here's a comment from Peter Anderson with a naughty picture. Mike Brown's mother, Rosemary Chikwa, SP, got her money back from a demand letter. Is that who you meant?
No, no, no. But I know the story. I'm
Yeah.
following that story as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, obviously it's possible. You just have to be persistent and you have to be very, severe in your language as well, and say, you're gonna give me the money or else.
Yeah.
Because legally speaking, I mean, they don't have anything really. They have to give you the money.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
from country to country might differ slightly or whatever. But if you have a lawyer or whatever on your side, no problem at all. Then we got here a comment from One Love 51,000. The fear is gone. I love that. That makes them powerless. Yeah, I think this was when you were talking about the fact that you sort of had no connection really to Scientology anymore. You didn't have any friends really in Scientology, so that you were able to say, well, they
Yeah.
don't have anything to use against me, also whoever, and that's why then you started to do the protesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
because that is
And it's
that is
still,
what they use. They use the fear, and that is how they control people. Fear. Yeah.
yeah. And it is still hard to do that, to go out and to confront them, to show up physically.
Mm.
It is still hard. But
Yeah.
I learned through SPTV channels, they can do nothing to you.
Yeah.
They are going to play the seek and hide game, and that's
Yeah.
it. What they can do.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or they apply shade tag. They applied wall tag. I mean, I still find it now amusing and somewhat sad, the fact that Scientology, like the top number one selling point is, oh, we teach you how to communicate, so you can
Yeah,
communicate better, and that is something they can absolutely not do. They just cannot communicate.
which I love.
Yeah, it's just so funny because it's just so ironic. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Here was a little comment in regards to the commissions from Nermin Otken. Commission paid out is 10% for the IAS and 50% on books and sales and publications.
yeah,
Yeah, this was a little comment in regards to getting commissions and things like that. Yeah, and then if you manage to get a raw meat, so a new public in, right, and then you can get commission from whatever this person is doing for the rest of their life.
yeah.
So if
That's the FSM commission.
that's the FSM commission, right? You can have that, and then that is one way of making quite a bit of money as a Scientologist, of going out and getting lots of people to come into Scientology, push them to do courses and up the bridge and so on and so forth, because you do get a commission for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, then here's a little comment from One Love 51,000. How watching the SP channels taught you, so are you teaching others? Right, in the sense of the other SP channel showed you how to do, or not to be afraid,
Yeah.
that Scientology will not do anything except for run away or hide or whatever. And that gave you the courage to do what it is that you're doing now. Yeah.
Yeah. And look,
Absolutely.
if I can help with my channel or with my interviews, if I can
Yeah.
help one person,
Yeah.
then I am successful, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. You'll be more successful than Scientology.
Yes.
Absolutely. Awesome. And then here's a little hello from Fluffer Screw UK. Hello.
Hello.
I'll be doing a little painting session with her in the future. We were already just talking about that because that's something she likes to do, painting, and then have another person on, and then at the same time paint something. I think it's kind of cool. And then in the chat they'll say, "Oh, use this color, use that color," and so on and so forth. And it's sort of the painting gets created a little bit with the help of the people chatting as well. So that's kind of awesome.
I know we did one.
Oh, you did as well one?
Yes, and we are going
Awesome. I
for the
didn't see that
second
one.
one.
Oh, awesome. Cool. All right. Cool. And I've got here a little comment, a little clarification from Nermin Otkin. Comment: Florida is Florida Flag Service Org International. Oh, I see. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And there was to that question, which I haven't started anymore, so I'll have to find it. But there was a clarification from before, where it was a little uncertain what it was
It's
meant.
a black backflashing
In
something.
regards to the backflashing, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Great. Now we've gone through all the comments, all the questions. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we end the session?
No, it's all good. Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. I loved it.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Feel weird.
It's still weird doing this, right? But
Yes.
we'll get used to it eventually, and then we'll get better and better. And but we did excellently. We had great questions and comments, and so with that, thank you very much, everyone, for being here, for watching. Thank you, Balázs, for having agreed to do this interview. Please, if you guys still have questions, leave them down in the comment section below when the live has ended, and then Balázs and I will, throughout the weeks and years and decades that this video will be up, we'll be answering the questions and so on and so forth. Forever, exactly, until we keel over. And so thank you very much. I wish everybody a very pleasant morning, afternoon, or evening as the time of day applies. And goodbye.
Bye.